Why am I only being granted 6-month permits to stay in South Africa, and why am I not being granted citizenship? The short answer: it's complicated. But there are things you could try. The whole question. I have a couple of questions regarding getting South African citizenship. Here is my backstory on my life. I was brought into South Africa by my mother when I was 10 years old from Zimbabwe in the year 2000-2001, and I am turning 27 this year. So I have been residing in South Africa for my teen and adult life. When we arrived in South Africa, my mother applied for refuge-ship, and she was granted in 2005-2006. And as kids, we have been under her file for all my South African livehood. Whenever we would go to Home Affairs to renew our refugee papers, we were given either 2 years or 4 years permit. She applied for permanent residence, and we never heard from Home Affairs regarding the issue. When my mother's parents passed away in 2010, she traveled back to Zimbabwe to bury them, as she is the only child. Home Affairs found out about this, and they charged her and made her pay a fine for that, but now they are giving us 6 months refugee permits. My questions are: 1. Is it possible that we as her kids are getting punished for what she did back in 2010? 2. Home Affairs said they would open different files for us when we turn 18 years old, but nothing has been done yet. Will this affect me getting my citizenship? 3. How can I apply for citizenship with the history I have never left South Africa from the age of 10 years old? 4. Do I need to seek legal help for me to start the process of applying for citizenship as an individual? The long answer: thank you for your email asking about applying for citizenship as the 27-year-old child of a registered refugee who has never left South Africa since arriving with your mother at the age of 10. To answer your first question as to whether Home Affairs is punishing you by only issuing permits for 6 months at a time, instead of the 2 to 4 years they used to give, it may be that they are punishing your mother for returning to Zimbabwe to bury her parents in 2010, for which she was fined, but I think it is more likely that they are issuing everybody with much shorter permits than they used to, as a way of discouraging people from settling in South Africa. Your second question about whether Home Affairs' failure to open separate files for you and your sister after you turned 18 could affect your application for citizenship. Given that your mother is still recognized as a refugee and that you and your sister are still listed on her file, it should not make too much difference. But nothing is ever clear with Home Affairs. So this is one of the issues you should discuss with the organizations that I will list at the end of this email. Your third question about how to apply for citizenship, given that you have not left South Africa since you came with your mother when you were 10, you can only apply for citizenship through N.